Hello everyone and welcome to the Brawl Project. Today we're going to be doing a deck tech and playing some games with this deck, which I'm calling basically Jeskai Fires. Last week I was fortunate enough to participate in Twitch Rivals, and I was lucky enough to get a top 32 with Jeskai Fires in my first standard tournament since Mythic Championship 1. And I wanted to make a deck that let you live the Jeskai Fires experience in Brawl. And there's only one Jeskai commander available to us, and that is Kaikar Wind's Fury. So Kaikar is pretty cool, makes some additional tokens with non-creature spells, and also you can sacrifice those spirits for some additional mana. That's cool, but most of our deck is trying to maximize the Fires of Invention and truly live that Fires experience. So we're going to have a lot of proactive cards. We don't have any instance that we're going to be wanting to play on our opponent's turn, just because we're going to be playing on our main phase so much. You won't see any counter magic here. Instead, you'll see heavy hitters like the 3 Cavaliers of Dawn, Gales, and of Flame. Some planeswalkers that hit pretty hard, like Sarkhan, and of course you've got like Teferi, which adds a little bit of interaction, but you also have the Royal Scions and Dovin and Narset just as threats that you can deploy and activate with Fires of Invention. You're kind of trying to just dump your hand on the board and be so far ahead that well, you just overwhelm your opponent. Saheeli is a nice one in this deck list because it has a very similar ability to Kaikar. You don't get spirits and you don't get mana and flying, but you do get additional bodies anytime you cast non-creature spells. Those help you defend your planeswalkers, chump block with them until you get up to until you get enough of board presence to start turning the tide. The removal we play is mostly enchantment-based. We've got Prison Realm and Conclave Tribunal. This one's a really nice one in this deck. The Convoke works really well with the tokens you create with Kaikar. And then we have Kazmina's Transmutation and Frogify, the 2 Frogify effects. I like those a lot. They're good against creature-based commanders. Don't do so well against planeswalkers for obvious reasons, but they're really good against the creature-based commanders like Torbran or Yurok and whatnot. What else is there to say about this deck? Well, one of the nicest cards for this one is Cavalier Flame. You'll be making a lot of tokens with this deck between Saheeli and Kaikar and Dovin. Cavalier Flame gives them all +1/+0. If you're lucky enough to have Fires of Invention out, this is the the classic Jeskai Fires move. You have Fires of Invention out, you cast Cavalier Flame, you activate it a bunch of times, and you just attack for a ton of damage. And that's the dream. That's the dream for this deck. This deck has a tremendously high land count. It has 29 lands, and of those lands, it has a lot of cards that also have activated abilities. When you have Fires out, you don't need to use your mana to cast spells. You can use it for things like Castle Vantress, Castle Ardenvale, even Castle Embereth, which, if you are on the create token plans, can do some serious work. And then you also have cards like Blast Zone and Cryptic Caves and well, I guess those two. They just have a lot. There's a lot of stuff you can do with your mana in your lands, and that's with the idea of if you have Fires out, your lands are free to use their activated abilities, and you're also hoping to get by with so many colorless lands. Just based on that really high land count. I generally think that you should run pretty high on lands in Brawl anyway. But the Jeskai Fires deck already plays 29 lands, and I don't know how I feel about going over that amount. Anyway, I'm hoping to see some real fireworks with this deck. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to play about 5 or 7 games with it today. So, let's hop into the games. Alright, basically Jeskai Fires. This hand doesn't have a blue source, and it certainly doesn't have Fires of Invention, so we're going to take the free mulligan here. I can get a turn 3 Saheeli. I would need the white source. And it has my favorite card in the deck, Divine Visitation. I would need a second white source. I think we got a mulligan this one as well. Okay, this one has all 3 colors. And yeah, okay, this is fine. We'll keep this. We'll just put one of the Frogify effects on the bottom. Actually, you know what? They're probably both bad because my opponent's playing Teferi, but this is fine. Okay, so what are we even looking for here? We're looking to curve out. Okay, beginning of our upkeep. Alright, so we're against Teferi. Teferi might have trouble dealing with Resolve Planeswalker, and I think the Royal Scions threatens to do a little more than Dovin. I think we want all of these cards. Yeah, like we're going to want to hit our 5th land on time. We can go 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we're just going to keep these, although I would want to get the Royal Scions when I can play it. Okay, let's just do this. Let's play that Saltwater Cliffs. Next turn I'll play Temple of Triumph, and then we'll get the land and try to land the Royal Scions. Yeah, I think we want to keep that land on top. Most powerful thing that we can be doing for the first few turns is playing lands. Alright, are they just going to jam the Teferi? We can also use Dovin, which actually threatens to pressure Teferi. And it does it pretty well. It's like a bunch of 1/1 tokens. Let's do that.
Your loss will either be a tragedy or comedy of errors.
They can bounce this with Teferi, but you know, going after these tokens one by one is not going to be easy. They're set. Self prevents us from drawing extra cards. Ooh, and we can actually use the Royal Scions to attack a little harder. Okay, sure. I think I'm just gonna resolve. Like, I know they have a counterspell. Why not just resolve another Planeswalker? Get Field of the Dead down. Yeah, let's just make another one. Drawing and discard doesn't do anything here. Oh, I guess also like with Narset out, we gotta watch out. Because the ult of the Royal Scions is not the most powerful. Alright, so are they going to answer this Thopter? Prison Realm. Well, that takes down a Planeswalker, doesn't it?
Here goes nothing.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm in trouble. Although, I mean, this Dovin's going to put out a token every other turn. That's something. Yeah, I could have told you that they were going to go after the Royal Scions. Folio Fancies. Okay. So they're going to mill me out. Oh, that was a fantastic draw. Well, just like we drew it up. All right, let's make some Planeswalkers creatures. All right, well, that was certainly very fortunate. We're gonna kill both Planeswalkers on the field, and then we're gonna have 2 Planeswalkers. Oh, I should have read what Dovin's Tick-Up does. It does has to deal combat damage to a player, so we weren't really missing out on anything.
There's elegance in simplicity.
Okay, so our opponent has counter magic, but we've got 2 Planeswalkers on the board. This can just make a let me go ahead and make a dragon. Woo! Oh man, drawing Sarkhan was good there. We won only playing 3 spells. Look at that. Alright, here we are against Korvold. This hand looks good. We do want to continue to curve out and hit our lands. But if we can take a hold of Korvold, for example, that'll be fantastic with Agent of Treachery. Chromatic Lantern will hopefully get our mana up a little faster. Alright, I certainly don't mind Field of the Dead. This hand is a bit light on interaction. Like, if my opponent gets the Korvold down quickly, I might be in a little trouble if I can't answer it right on time. So I've got a few options here. I could just go Saheeli to get the party started, although I think 1/1s are not going to matter that much here. And a Cauldron Familiar. Okay. Alright, so 1/1's like can kind of block for Saheeli, but like I'd be letting her go down to 3 at the very least. I'm just gonna play the Chromatic Lantern. We're probably going to go into Cavalier of Gales on the next turn. This lets the Field of the Dead tap for mana, which is pretty cool. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they can play the Corvold next turn, and we don't have a good answer for it. And that means they're going to draw a lot of cards. Sacrifice, oh yeah, they can sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar to draw a card, and then sacrifice the food in order to draw another card. And have to imagine that's what they're about to do. Alright, well, let's look for an answer for Corvold. It might be too late by the time we find it, or by the time we untap, I suppose. No answer. Okay. I'm going to say the Sacred Foundry is the worst card, and the card we would want to hide, I suppose, is Agent of Treachery. So we'll draw the Agent of Treachery here, and then we'll play Fabled Passage and shuffle away the Sacred Foundry. Good old Legacy Brainstorm trick. Yeah, they're going to draw another card. They're going to attack with Corvold also, and oh man, this is just gross. So many cards in hand. On the next turn, we can play Kaikar and Winged Words and try to dig. I don't know that... I mean, we could just play Precognitive Perception, but there's no 1-mana answer that deals with this. So I think our best bet really is just to play Kaikar and draw 2 cards and hope that's enough. Man, they're going to sacrifice... They're just drawing so many cards. They have any amount of removal here. Bone Splinters, yeah. Yeah, my opponent's just going off here. Well, they got us. Ooh, actually. No. Well, there goes my Agent of Treachery. But hey, maybe I'll find a real answer for Corvold. My opponent really, well, they're really doing their thing. And give it up to them. That's pretty cool. Alright, well, there's a Frogify. And we can follow it with a Teferi. I don't know that Teferi actually does anything here. Like, all their creatures have come into play effects or are slow. So I think I'm actually going to pitch that Teferi. We'll take the Frogify, though. We'll be able to go Kaikar plus Frogify on the next turn. Or not, because they're going to Vraska to kill our Chromatic Lantern. Man, they're doing so many things. I mean, Frogify, like, doesn't even tell the whole tale here, because this is still going to be a 6/6. Suppose I can play Saheeli and Frogify. That'll put at least a little bit of pressure on my opponent's Vraska. Alright, well, let's do it. And by a little bit of pressure, I mean chump block for the Corvold for a turn. I should, after all, be more specific. Alright. I don't think we have a sweeper in this deck that can handle this. Well, we have 3 damage to each creature, and then we can follow it up with a chump blocker for Corvold, perhaps. I think if they keep the pressure on us, there's no way for us to win. Like, if they just sacrifice... oh, okay, that's a good way to keep the pressure on. They can do that. Attack for 7, 10. I'll be at 2, and then they can re-equip this, and yeah, we're dead. I don't see a way for them to kill us this turn. They can make a food and then sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar and then sacrifice the food to get the Cauldron Familiar back, but that's the same amount of damage as the mask. I'm just gonna concede. Our opponent got us good. Good for them. Alright, a true test, Nicol Bolas. And on the draw... Alright, well, I'm gonna keep this one. It has all 3 colors. It's got a mana accelerant, which is pretty cool. If we can get into Sarkhan and make a dragon, maybe we can do some of the similar things we did against Teferi. These Nicol Bolas decks tend to be pretty hardcore control, as they probably should be. Kept on top? How lucky. Ooh. Fires of Invention is a big part of this deck. We're going to have to keep on hitting lands if in order to make it work, but that could be pretty sweet. This theoretically threatens to attack. They can play Nicol Bolas here, which is pretty scary. I guess I just choose red. Well, they can't play Nicol Bolas yet, which is very fortunate for us. Alright, so I've got enough mana to play... Well, I can just play Fires of Invention. Like, it's going to be difficult for them to deal with the Fires of Invention. Then I can Conclave Tribunal. Honestly, this God Eternal Kefnet is not the most threatening thing, but I think I should just get it off the board. Then they play something like Nicol Bolas. I play Cavalier Flame and attack it down if that's what they do. I think I like that okay. Let's just do that. So let's do the Jeskai Fires thing and play the Fires of Invention. I could spend this turn playing Kaikar, but that's just gonna get killed. We'll do this. Let's see if they opt to put it here. One other thing is that Planeswalkers are not safe from Nicol Bolas. They do not have triple black, but if they play a Planeswalker here, we get to attack down with Cavalier Flame in true Jeskai Fires fashion. Otherwise, I think I just play Kaikar and then Sarkhan. Sacrifice an artifact. I mean, that doesn't even matter anymore. Alright, let's see. What can we do here? Yeah, let's just play Kaikar and Sarkhan. And I think I can even activate fire up this Mobilized District and attack for 3. Although that's not actually very good here. In case they have some sort of instant speed removal spell, it doesn't really accomplish much. Plus, scrying with Castle Vantress is pretty good in these situations with Fires of Invention. Alright, I'm so excited to do the Fires of Invention thing. I think that we can pretty much take on just... okay. I was about to say, we can take on just about anything with Fires of Invention on our side. And then they played that. I mean, how close are we to just killing them with... Yeah, you got it. That's fine. How close are we to just killing them with Cavalier Flame? Like, 26 is a large life total, but Cavalier Flame does the business, as they say. You play God Eternal plus Cavalier Flame. Okay, let's do some math. So this is going to be 6, 4... Okay, 4, 4, 4, 12, plus 6, 18, plus 1, plus 5. I'm counting 24, so that doesn't quite do it. We definitely don't want this Deafening Clarion. If we could hit Red Source, that might actually do it. Kind of worried about the Elder Spell, too. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Screw it. If this is wrong, I don't think it's that wrong. When I was playing in Twitch Rivals, it definitely felt like the Jeskai Fires deck was more than anything. Oh wait, I might be able to fire up the district. I don't think I really want to discard this one. 1, 2, 3, so this should cost 2. Oh my goodness! Z. Okay, come on, tap it correctly. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful! Woo! Oh my goodness, that was amazing! Wow, well, basically Jeskai fires. That did not disappoint. Let's go on to another game. Vraska the Golgari Queen. Well, we're going first. This hand is really just missing a red source. I think it's pretty good. If I find that red source, that Cavalier of Flame is really awkward. But I think this is fine. We'll be able to shimmer on turn 2. We don't really have too many other turn 2 plays. This will just smooth out our draws. I think this is fine. Just tapped. And on the play is very nice too, I must say. Ooh, paying life. Knight of the Even Legion. So going the aggro style. Alright, well, let's shimmer. Let's see if we can find a red source. Did not find a red source, although I did find Divine Visitation. How easy is it for them to deal with the Divine Visitation? It's definitely a slow card for us, but boy, it does some work. On the other hand, if they led with a 1-drop, maybe I should just get Deafening Clarion. I could definitely see this going either way. Yeah, we gotta fight over the early game, I suppose. So we're probably just going to go Winged Words, hope to hit a red source at some point. If they add to their board with mana creatures or something like that, we can hopefully sweep them up with Deafening Clarion. Or we can draw Teferi, which is like utter nonsense of a card. I mean, now we just bounce this. Unless they have something with haste next turn, we get to like potentially hold up Drawn from Dreams or Deafening Clarion if we draw a red source. It's just an insane tempo play. Does not produce red. Does not produce red mana this turn. Okay, well, so much for Teferi. 5. Yeah. Well, Teferi's going to be at 2, so they have to do something in order to gain additional power here. Jeez. The thing about Winged Words is that I would like it to, I also really want a red source on my next turn. Yeah, I'll just play Winged Words at instant speed. Yep. Would you like to pump? This is really risky. If I had a removal spell here, it's a pretty big blowout, but this is fine. Teferi's not actually a huge part of our game plan. It's actually kind of red herring. There would have been a red source. Okay. Alright, let's see. We can play Saheeli, and then we can kill the Knight of the Even Legion. That's pretty cool. If they play Vraska, if they just play Vraska, then, yeah, I think I kind of like that. What are our other options? We can play Kaikar, but the thing about that is that we don't have a good follow-up with it, and I think it probably dies in one way or another if that's my only play. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and finish up that Knight of the Even Legion. And get a servo, get a little bit of a board presence. Pass the turn. I don't think I've ever used Saheeli's ability with this deck. We don't have very exciting artifacts. I guess we have a couple that produce mana, but that's about it. Okay, so here's the Vraska. They're probably just going to kill Saheeli, that's fine, and we've got the servo to attack down Vraska. Yeah, okay. I'm totally happy with that exchange. So, something you always have to worry about against the decks that have green and black in them is that you could get absolutely destroyed by a card called Casualties of War. It is a very strong card. Okay, well, I know my next play is going to be Temple of Epiphany, so let's just do that here. I could Drawn from Dreams, but I think I should commit to this board a little more. I think I'll just play Kaikar. Yeah, we want to continue hitting land drops, so I'll put that on top, although ideally we'd have a red source, so we can play Cavalier Flame. Alright, so. If they Casualties of War here, it just kills Kaikar in a land. Usually, I think you want to diversify your threats, but against Casualties of War, that is a very scary thing to do. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Could just play Safara. She's big, and I don't think I'm getting flyers this game. If they untap Casualties, that's pretty bad, but at some point I have to do something. I can play Bone Crusher Giant and Drawn from Dreams. Yeah, I mean, if we find fires, like, we can do some really sweet stuff. Can loot away the Deafening Clarion, but I don't have an answer to the Voracious Hydra. Okay, I'm gonna go with Drawn from Dreams and maybe follow it up with something. Prison Realm is not bad. Yeah, I don't mind Prison Realm. I wouldn't mind continuing to hit land drops either. Narset is kind of cool against them because it shuts off Vraska. You know what? I'm going to do that. This might be wrong, but the Prison Realm will help us hit a land. Yeah. They are in a spot where they can land Vraska now, but it takes up most of their whole turn. Biogenic use. Okay, that is fine. We've got the... Ooh. And we can get that with the Deafening Clarion as well. Okay, so. What is the best thing I can do with Deafening Clarion this turn? I think it's Narset. I think Narset just is the best one to pair with it. Yeah, I suppose I should play Narset first.
Just the trick for this.
I would like to play this Arcane Signet. I don't think Frogify is going to be too good against them. Vraska gives some built-in protection against it. So if they play Vraska and like tick up or something here, or even just kill Narset, we have the option of 3 damage. Sure, we'll get lifelink. We have the option of just playing Cavalier Flame and attacking, because now we have quad red. If they Casualties of War, this Voracious Hydra isn't even that good. Narset got at least a little bit of value before she would die to Casualties of War. Maybe it's possible that I'm just worrying way too much about Casualties of War, but man, that card is crazy. So, Vraska, they have to go down here, and I guess they just go down on Narset? Yeah, okay. That's fine. Mobilize District. Vigilance, but it doesn't have haste. Having this just on the field is pretty good, though. I kind of want to discard Safara. Oh, I think I screwed this up. Okay, I'm going to discard Safara, I think. And the Royal Silence just doesn't do a ton with Vraska in play. Or with Vraska as the commander. We can loot something away later in the game. But I'm not playing it this turn anyway. I'll keep it. It can loot something else away later. Ooh, that's not a bad one. Alright, let's give this haste. Let's go after Vraska. We also have this Castle Vantress, which is pretty nice. If we do run out of gas at some point, we can start finding it. Can't imagine this Cavalier Flame is lasting much longer. Vraska now costs 8, and they are at 6, and they missed the land drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana available for us. Not enough to go Kaikar Chandra, unfortunately, but that's okay. Could start taking up the Royal Scions, but that, like I said, that's a liability with Vraska. I think if we draw land, maybe that makes sense because I can play both Vraska and Chandra. And Chandra's probably going to just try to keep the path clear, or if they do something like just remove a few things, then Chandra can start ticking up and putting pressure on their life total. Man, the Dread Horde. Holy cow. Okay. Wait, they're at 2? But this has lifelink.
Encounter no obstacles.
They're at 3. Oh, but they get a Teferi and a Narset? Oh man, I don't think I can beat this. I would need to draw an answer to Safara. Oh man.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Well, that was a turn. Okay. So I can't draw cards this turn. Which pretty much dooms me. I can play Chandra and sweep. They get to attack with Safara, and that is all sorts of bad. But there's nothing really I can do about it. Sweeping this might be the best I've got. Oh, man. I wish Chandra could actually do damage to players. Okay, I think that's my best bet. I can't let them just have all these cards on board. Are these elementals? No, no elementals. Oh, this this doesn't even die. Okay. Yeah, like the Royal Scions does nothing here, so do that.
I'll protect you.
Well, that was one heck of a command, the Dread Horde. Holy cow. They definitely had to sweat. I guess most of the cards that you would play in this type of deck probably don't go to the face. I'm trying to think of a Planeswalker. Like, this Chandra doesn't go to the face either. Maybe... yeah. If I had some way of giving the Mobilized District haste, maybe. This just gains them life. Wow, if I hadn't discarded Safara, maybe I would have had a shot. I was just thinking that, like, I don't think I was going to be able to use it. Yeah, my opponent has too many Planeswalkers. We're pretty done here. Cavalier Flame is pretty cool. My opponent only has 2 mana up, but I can't even draw cards. Alright, well, props to the opponent. Alright, let's jump in another one. Something nice about tonight is that we haven't faced the same commander twice, and that continues with our opponent being on Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord here. Go ahead and mulligan this. Yep, this has all three colors, and my favorite card in the deck, Divine Visitation. You can do some really nasty things with Divine Visitation. Yeah, it's a bit slow, and a lot of brawl games do come down to just tempo. But man, if you're making angels off of Field of the Dead or off of I was gonna say the one that flips into a land, but that's in Historic Brawl. The castle, the white castle. That's another one. Alright. Opponent. Opponent is being pretty aggro, so I think I should stem the tide here. Question is with what? Play Prison Realm. Just Prison Realm, the Impassioned Orator. Seems a bit extreme, but I certainly don't like doing nothing. And I don't think this Frogify... If Frogify gets better, the better the creature is. The Castle Ardenvale. That's the castle I was talking about. Well, we have Divine Visitation in our hand, so I'm going to keep that on top. Next turn we're going to play Kaikar. The following turn we're going to play Divine Visitation. And hopefully we're going to get some Angels up in here. Of course, I am carefully playing lands of different colors. Raise the alarm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, good thing is that Sorin doesn't just kill creatures. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. Alright. So, options are... I think I kind of like Cavalier of Gales a little more than just playing Divine Visitation, because it helps with card selection, it's kind of value, it blocks, it forces my opponent to do something about it. They want to keep on attacking. Oh, and the Chandra is excellent as well. So... learning from my mistake earlier, I think we can get rid of the Royal Scions. And honestly, this Chromatic Lantern isn't doing a whole ton. So I'll put those two on top. Chromatic Lantern is more useful in case they kill the Cavalier of Gales, like, next turn somehow. I don't know, some weird thing could happen. Anyway, Chandra sweeping everything up. It seems like it's going to be pretty good here if they're if they have an answer to the Cavalier of Gales. And if not, well, then we can get greedy with the Divine Visitation. Start turning that way. Okay, IG guy. Right, that has Death Touch. Okay, sure. Well, I mean, even regardless, it's probably good to just sweep everything up.
Let's start at a sizzle. Check out these fireworks.
I'm really disappointed because I think that this Divine Visitation is just not going to come into play here. And that makes me really sad. What's doing Death Touch? Alright. Could have killed this, but I don't really see a reason to. Yeah. Aw, okay. We did not, unfortunately, get Divine Visitation going, but you can imagine that Divine Visitation plus Castle Ardenvale. Well, that's pretty good if you're out of cards in hand. All right, let's play a couple more. A True Test, another top tier commander in Torbran. Well, it's hard to say no to a hand that has Fires of Invention. That makes our deck tick like crazy. Opponent goes first. See, the problem is we're not doing anything until turn 4. On the other hand, we do have a Chandra, so if we can survive up until Chandra, then maybe we can do something. So we're going to go Heraldic Banner for white, then Fires of Invention plus Kaikar. Then we should actually be able to play Chandra. We'll just have to tap mana for her, which is fine. Every card has a purpose. So we're going to take one. We're probably just dead. I mean, if they can just curve out with this, we'll be dead before we know it. I mean, maybe if we can chump block with Kaikar or something, and then sweep up everything else, but then we still have a Torbran to deal with. It's going to be really rough. Huh. Thrill's not one that I see from this one too much, but I guess a lot of them play the electrostatic barrier, or whatever it's called. Alright, well, let's say white. The one that pings per instant or sorcery you play. Okay, well, they're going to be able to play Torbrand. Yeah, they even get a creature. This is all sorts of bad. I mean, if they overextend and I draw a Deafening Clarion, maybe. It's pretty hard to imagine any other way to get out of this one. So this is 3 plus 3 plus 5. Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Anyone need a match? No, go get him, buddies.
Man, Torbrand, what a card. Yeah, alright, well. I don't think there was really many cards in our deck that could stop a start like that. I might as well let my opponent do it. I'll show them what's going on over here. I got that into this. Ha! Take 3. Oh wait, they only take 1, right? This only does 2 opponents. Oof. Disrupting the balance.
They're so cute.
Well, I can't play spells. Alright, let's play one more. That was a really quick one. On the draw against Torbrand. It's always a grimace emoji. For sure. Alright, our 7th and final match is going to be against Domri, Anarch of Bolas. Well, it seems kind of slow, but it's got all... Oh, but we can't cast Kaikar off these. Also, it's got a 7-drop in hand and a 4-drop we can't cast. Let's mulligan this. Alright. This even has a 2-drop in Bone Crusher Giant. We'll keep this. Lead with Tranquil Cove, go into a mountain, kill a Mana Dork, perhaps. Or a Pelt Collector. Yeah, I can worry about scrying later. Then we can go into Heraldic Banner, or actually Narset is probably fine. Which one of these is more threatening? Pelt Collector actually might be a little scarier. Reason being, it gets the buff without having to spend mana, so I think I'm actually going to stomp that. A little strange to be stomping the 1-drop instead of the 2-drop. Anyway, it's pretty cool that we've played against the full 7 different commanders in this edition of the Brawl Project against 7 different opponents. Could play Narset here, but I think it's better to just... Yeah, I'm just going to play Bone Crusher Giant out. Threatens Planeswalkers, blocks, all that good stuff. Now, on the following turn, we can play Kaikar into... If Kaikar survives, we can go Heraldic Banner into Hasmia's Transmutation. We only have double blue, so we don't have enough for Cavalier of Gales, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll just attack back at Domri.
The only authority that I recognize is chaos.
Skewer. Yeah, pretty good. It's pretty good, especially if they have some way to take down Kaikar, which seems reasonably likely. All they need to do... Oh, yeah. I just played straight into that. My opponent can just play Lovestruck Beast and then minus Domri in order to kill this. That was pretty foolish on my side, I would say. Domri's pretty good. They can do that too, although they probably want to make it this one. Yeah. Can't Casmia's Transmutation that, although it's a little messy. Oh, I guess one thing about the Lovestruck Beast is that with Darmary out, it just can't attack. So that's at least something. We're going to take 6 here. We're going to take 6 on the next turn, too. Well, 6 plus 2. Yeah, I gotta go... Here I gotta go Heraldic Banner into... this is really bad for me. Kazmian's Transmutation. Sweeper? That's not Sweeper. So, this deck is, it did really well against some of the slower decks, but definitely has difficulty against the decks that are a little lower to the ground like this. Especially because, you know, we're trying to maximize Fires of Invention, so it's difficult to double spell. Like, that throws the mana curve off, and makes it difficult to deal with starts like these. Holy cow, are we dead? We're at 1. Alright. Yeah, our opponent got us. I mean, I don't think there's anything that Cavalier of Gales can draw us that matters, but, you know, might as well look. So I think that, like, if I was to revise the deck list, I'd probably add in a few more sweepers to this deck, just to reset the board on games that look a lot like this, where our opponent gets off to a fast start and we can't quite catch up, because that happened a few times. That being said, the deck did some really cool things. It's definitely does some nice proactive things, but I think that if we can add like Realmcloak Giant or something like that to the deck, it will benefit greatly from that to help deal with these. You only get access to one Deafening Clarion. Another card is maybe like Flame Sweep, because then that doesn't kill your tokens with Kaikar. And that's also a card that you can play off of the tokens. So maybe we'll do that and change up some of the lists before I post the article next week. Anyway, thanks for watching the Brawl Project. I do stream live Mondays through Thursdays at noon Pacific. I'm always up to battle my viewers if there's nothing else going on that day. So if you want to battle some Brawl, just stop on by twitch.tv/Sunnyvale. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.